on paper, it looks okay. It's going to create a lot of jobs. But in terms of the owners, we don't really know what's going to happen.
Just the government raised that system, and it's forcing to put it here.
We were thinking things will change. Instead, it is getting worse and worse.
The future of the taxi industry is that if taxi industry does not transform like any other business, it's going to die a natural death.
I still think Spain,
Italy.
Portugal.
And I'm going to go watch Italy and Paraguay.
I agree with you,
Spain, Portugal, Brazil, definitely. I don't think Germany is so bad.
Germany's for us this year. Okay, this is my team.
You never know, man. You never know.
I don't choose Italy because Italy is playing shit soccer these days. I would choose Netherlands.
No, Ridwan, they're not even going to get to the
Brazil,
quarterfinals.
Portugal, Spain, and there's another copy team at South Africa.
No. Okay, have a good day, everybody. See you guys. Bye. See you guys. It's my one daughter.
Freedom, Gardens of Gardens!
Where's the Nordic? She's got sit in front, Mama. Here we go.
Freedom, Gardens of Gardens!
Gardens of Gardens, Freedom in front. Freedom, Gardens of Gardens. Where's the Nordic? She's got sit here. 3 more freedoms here, 3 more freedoms.
Mostly black people that work in Oranjezig and Freedom. And they go from the morning and wait till the buses come home for the kids, and then they go. They take care of the white people's children. Some of them taking them to school, taking them to the creche, and I give them a lift up to the creche, or taking them down to the creche. That's all with no charges involved.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye, guys. Have a nice day. Cheers.
Well, some have a lot of problems. Sometimes I think I'm a social worker also. But they come to your problem with their problems to you, and if you can help them, I help them. Sometimes they haven't got money, then I'll take them up for free, and then bring them back down to town again. That's my daily work every day.
Passengers we transport are regulars every day. Faces we know, some places we know. Some of them don't even need to tell us where they're going, because it's the same faces every day for days. It's like a close-knit, environment. Yeah.
I'm going up to Oranjezig, and then now it's some people in Oranjezig. Mostly the people that I drop in the morning, I'll pick up in the afternoon again.
Whenever you earn wealth, you purify it when you give to others that don't have, or sometimes you give to people that you think they have, but the condition is maybe not to have. You understand what I'm saying? So we give to all our passengers on a Friday. Maybe it's bread, maybe sometimes we buy some cakes and we give it with chips or anything. We give to them on a Friday.
Hello, Mrs. Oh, you funny, you know.
Latifa, she organizes that on a Friday.
You must only. Woo! You are the star, Poochie! I don't get to without you! That's Mrs. Isaacs. May Hashem bless you. Our friends,
We love them. They love us. We are a happy family.
They always go on so crazy.
You know, South Africa have got 9 provinces. I'm coming from the Eastern Province. Here is the Western Province. Previous time, before the time of apartheid, you was not allowed to come from Eastern Cape to Western Cape if you don't have ID or passport. There were the borders because of the apartheid. Those white guys, they don't want the black people in this town. So, and then after we get the democracy, and then we're coming from Eastern Cape to check the job here, just because in Eastern Cape there is no job there. So we're just coming from Eastern Cape to Western Cape. That was Western Cape at least have got more jobs. But roughly to me, I didn't get a job. Since I was coming here in Eastern Cape, I did fill the forms, I did make the applications, I did go to the interviews, I didn't get a job. That's why I decided to drive the taxis. But just because in the taxis, there is no CV in the taxis. If you have got a license, no matter you don't have got a license, if you go to the owner of the taxi and then you just ask, I'm driving, I know how to drive, and then just give you the taxi and thereafter you work. That is the easiest job you find it here. Here in the taxi industry, actually, there is no life here actually. Just because we are working under condition of commission if you get money. Get the money for the commission. So you can't do the things, just only help you and the family, but you can't do so much things. That's because if the taxi is broken, you just sit down, you don't earn anything. You get the money if the taxi is going, always. If you are sitting, you don't get the money. So there is no life actually.
Sorry, man. Thanks.
When I get the load, I take the money from the passengers to whole busy day, and then at the end of the day, I'll give the owner that money. And then he commission me to that money. For example, if I give him 400 rands, and then he give me 100 rands.
Woodstock. Jy nee agter, dankie. Let's go. Salt River, Woodstock, Cape Town. Salt River, Woodstock, Cape Town. You know, I have 4 daughters, you know, and raising 4 daughters, I was the only worker, you know, only breadwinner in our family. And I have to work. I have to work early hours. Early hours in the morning I have to stand up, driving taxi till late, you know, to see that my daughters, you know, have good schooling. What I do in the morning is, as vice chairman of Route 6, I'm also the, you know, try to keep the guys together, you know, in managing them to do, to speak nice to people, you know, not to be rude. That is why in the mornings when our people is there and there's a line, then I help the linesman to regulate the work, you know. to get our passengers safe into the vehicles. Each line got different regulators, and each van have a different sliding door operator. Like these boys, some of them were gangsters, you know, but they're trying to change, you see, and then they become a sliding door operator. And we try to help them in any way, you know, but sometimes they have no way of speaking, you know, to a woman or to a child or to a man, you see. But that is why I'm there in the morning, just to simmer them down, keep them down, you know. But this is one exception, you know, one sliding door operator that you can depend on. Although he don't smile a lot, you know. Yeah.
There is a lot of unemployment here in Athlone. There is. But what can we do? They say there's no jobs. Sometimes I take one of these youngsters to be with me on the taxi for a day, just to take him off the road, stop roaming around.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you much. They just collect the money and they just open the door and close the door and help the people putting the bags in the van, and that's all.
What kind of work do you do?
Well, the crime did improve. It never stopped here, especially with the area where I stay in. I stay in Athlone, you always hear this one got killed and this one got raped, and you know.
I'm living in Kailija. Kailija is a township, and Kailija is not a good place there. There is too much violence there. If you go in the dark place, the authorities rob you. Each and every day there are stories of robbery in Kailija, of rape, dead person. So Kailija is not good, total at all. And most of the townships here in Cape Town is very, very strong, especially in the night.
How is it going?
Fine, and you?
I'm fine, man.
I think it's easy to be a woman taxi driver. I mean, we are multitasked, aren't we? Well, my mom's multitasked, I'm multitasked, my sister's multitasked. We were brought up this way to be hard workers, so I think it's about survival, and you just have to do what you have to do.
Cape Town, Mama!
So even if I have to drive a big truck, I would do that if I have to survive, and there was nothing else for me to do.
But Mama, you must pay me. Yes, please, what?
Yeah. And it's like I said, survival.
Two of my daughters is driving and one of my son. And the one daughter is at home doing the cooking and the cleaning. Some of the grandchildren don't want me to go work there anymore. They want me at home. But I love it there.
Keep it here.
Are you working tomorrow?
He's sitting at the back. What? He's talking to.
I will be a taxi driver until I die, because I'm so used to driving there and I enjoy what I'm doing.
What are you up to?
He's working right.
100%. We had to replace tires and brake pads and fix the door. So we are done with this one. So now we just need to get the other one. And this is basically our workshop where we normally fix our vehicles. Yeah. What I like about the taxi industry is that you're in control of your own time. You see, you drive. If you don't feel well, you can pull off. If someone is sick, you can go and visit them. If I want to go to prayer, I can go to prayer. That's what I like about being in control of your own time. It's not like when you work for a company, you have to be there all the time. Sometimes they call you out at night, you have to be there. But what I like about this taxi industry is you're basically in control of your own time. I was studying engineering, electrical. When I came back to Cape Town, at the time I was married to Faima. I decided to come back and start contracting with the companies. At the same time, I tried helping out here because at that time they didn't have drivers. So I started driving as well, and that's why I started enjoying what I was doing. And now I prefer doing the driving.
Did you have to do that now?
Come guys, Freshia, what is finished? Sumaya, Faima, Yasin, come. Sumaya, Rahma, Nabila, Mama Nur, come eat, come. Take it off from the fork.
Well, the World Cup maybe will bring something to the country. And my family is excited because they're all soccer fans, you know. But they haven't got tickets yet for the World Cup. They are expensive, the tickets are expensive, but I don't know really what's the price. For me, I will watch it on TV.
About the World Cup at least, when I hear to the radios and the news, when I'm watching the TV, I see it's very, 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 very much important. That's because South Africa is a developing country. Maybe after that World Cup we can see the things happen. At least maybe we can find a job, maybe even the projects, like the stadiums. They add the more stadiums. They need the people that do the stadium to work for them, you see. But to me, I don't know, maybe I can get a job. That's what at least now I'm older. I've got 32 years now. So it's difficult to get a job. But yeah, I don't know after the World Cup. Maybe the things can be changed. Right now, I don't have the ticket because of the financial and because of my work. So I don't have the ticket. And that ticket is too expensive. And surely, I'm sure maybe 100% of the drivers don't have the tickets. I'm staying in the shack. No shack. I don't have a house. Most of us here, we don't have the house. If you are coming from Eastern Cape, you just arrive here in Western Cape. You just build the shack with the zinc, the old zinc, and then you get inside. This house is for my grandmother. My grandmother, I don't know how many years was staying in this house. If you stay here, you get sick in winter time just because the raining is raining. If maybe the raining is too heavy, the water gets inside here, so you get sick. The job of the taxi, I can say that it's good, it's not good. It's good how? Because here in South Africa, it's too much poverty. So if you get a job, you're supposed to do that job. just because at the end of the day you earn some money because of that job. But in the taxi, there is no holiday, there is no off, but you get the off, you get the holiday if your taxi is going to the service or else it's broken. But there is no enough time to stay with your family. For example, if you have got a wife, a child, there is no time just to spend with your family. Just because we wake up early in the morning, you came later. A lot of people is leaving in Kai just because each and every year there is a new place is open. Each and every there are new places open. And most of the time, each and every year, there is a lot of people coming from Eastern Cape to Western Cape because Eastern Cape there is no job.
The population in Cape Town is growing due to natural birth rate and in-migration from the rest of Africa and from the rural areas. And it's growing beyond the city's capacity to deliver on services. To some extent, I think planners didn't anticipate that kind of growth. The city has grown beyond its current capacity to deliver.
When you start working, the first thing you want to do is to buy a car, not a house, not anything else but a car, because transport is a challenge in South Africa.
Into abakubethe namhlanje abanye abantu ababengaphangeli ivekile ngabantu betsha yephili right mama
Every standing in a queue. No, like real.
What we don't know right now.
You know, the one who organize an transport in like a sick fellow air sometimes.
Fuck, see the pieces about
he's a man who goes into organs.
When you don't have a car to panel, good dollar that I've song 80. Usang 80 in the summer. License nazo. Banoba over the year, asling out of Tamaban. Elitala and cool on the garden, and will be no one limits to me. You got cash or Pelanga. Look at what cash.
Taxis drive like maniacs, and it's only certain hours you can take them. You can only take taxis really until dark, and they'll stop for like half an hour, especially in Mowbray. They'll like stop maybe for 20 minutes to fetch one person. So it can take you a 10-minute drive can be a 40-minute trip. And they're just not popular. Like, people who have cars, they don't talk well about taxis. You hear random stories about people being mugged on the taxis, taxi drivers mugging people. Just in general, you don't know who you get in with. I typically don't get in unless there's a few people in the taxi, and I prefer if there's at least one woman in there. There is a perspective on taxi drivers that they're thugs or they're into gangs, and I mean, I have seen a bit of it. I luckily arrived shortly after the taxi wars, where apparently there was like shootings and things, but they have this idea that they own these routes. Yeah, the bullying and just the intimidation. I've had enough.
The gangsters, they are involved in taxis. There is some of them, I wouldn't say all, but there's some of them that big bosses that has taxis, you know.
When you're saying there's a criminal elements within the taxi industry and that is run mafia style, that is true because in any informal sector where there are no rules, people within that area make the rules. So these guys make the rules, break them as and when they want, and therefore it is a mafia style.
So in South Africa, we are in dire need of higher quality, more reliable, sustainable, affordable public transport, and it seemed that BRT was working in other developing countries and it might be a good model to implement here. BRT stands for Bus Rapid Transit, and it's a model pioneered by Bogota in Colombia, where they have a system called Transmilenio, which moves about 45,000 people per hour. So it's almost like a rail system on road. In Cape Town, we refer to it specifically as IRT, Integrated Rapid Transit, because the vision is that it will integrate with other forms of transport in Cape Town, like rail, the taxi industry, walking, cycling, that kind of thing.
What we did have to do was to get in an international consultant to advise us, to give us an idea of what it is, because the city has never implemented a project as big as that. In fact, not in the whole of South Africa. Of course, once we started our designs and gone into from conceptual designs to detailed designs, we realized how much it would cost. So what we are doing is to roll it out in different phases. And we are busy with our first phase 1A.
Close. From here you can access directly in and out. And obviously from here you've been on the service into the city. So for us, Mr. Mayor, to be able to partner with the city and have this type of facility and this type of service, excellent. We're looking forward to the actual opening. Or putting us in that space now where we can say we're getting into a world-class, being a world-class airport.
But also with our agreement with FIFA that we will put in place a public transport system that is compared to cities throughout the world, and to make it efficient, especially during the World Cup term, we then turned or made our system smaller, so at least just to fit in the requirements of a 2010.
Everybody had to believe that all of the taxi associations for the duration of the World Cup, that all of them could operate in the inner city of Cape Town. And they would have made a killing of a big buck in Cape Town. And obviously the inner city of Cape Town won't be able to cater for all the taxi associations from all the outskirts of Cape Town.
But then from a security point of view, as Trevor had said, no private vehicles can come within 2 kilometers of the stadium. That's a FIFA requirement. Yeah. Therefore, there's no ways, even if we wanted to allow anyone.
Exactly.
And we must remember, the minibus industry cannot carry the masses.
Yeah.
It's thousands of people that we'll be able to bring about 20,000 people within an hour with our buses in here.
Hey, let's take a walk, guys.
This will be the walk that you would normally walk to from here to the stadium.
There is a problem to the taxis because of this World Cup. Just because the government decided to bring this system of the BRT buses. You don't come to the taxis to talk to the taxis. That's because there is a lot of countries coming to South Africa. So they don't come to taxis and to talk to the taxis. How will help to each other to transport the people to the stadium, to transport the people to the guests. It just bring that system of BRT, and that system of BRT is fighting now. Those guys are fighting with the government. To us, BRT is not nice. In fact, to us, the World Cup is very, very important to come to my country. But to my job is causing the problems.
If you talk about going to the stadium, we have been restricted as taxi operators. We can drive up to a certain distance, not even come nearer to the stadium. Drive to a certain distance. It means that is a discrimination. Once you are being discriminated by your own government, your transport cannot come nearer to such and such point. It means that you are not welcome in that place. Now I can say, I as a taxi operator, I wish even South Africa, that is my own country team, could lose on the first match so that they could be out of that, because I am also going not to benefit anything out of that. Their own friends will benefit. They do not want the foreigners must see that South African government has got crippled children that are not being looked after. Once you are driving with an old vehicle, it seems that you do not have any government to help you in order for you to sustain. Now, instead of getting us near to the stadium, they rather kept us aside at the back of the yard. That is exactly what they are doing with us. Taking their beautiful children, that is now buses. Show them that we have got beautiful kids, other than the crippled children that are taxis. Put them at the back of the yard.
I think what is very disappointing for people is that everyone thought that they would benefit, just as we're implementing IRT. The whole taxi industry thought, wow, now we will benefit. And when they find that not everyone can be accommodated, the same as with the 2010. I mean, the street vendors thought that they would have, they would go all the way to the bank in terms of selling things. But there's stringencies that has been put in place in terms of where and how you can sell these things. Not everyone is benefiting from it from an economic point of view. And you would then get the resistance of people saying, well, we're not really part of that, because what do we get out of it? We are dealing with an industry that is extremely volatile. And so once they get their own house in order, and I cannot see that happening very soon, of fighting one another, not even fighting the government, fighting one another, it is going to be very difficult to integrate them into a formalized system, to play by the government's rules. And the IRT is about the rules that the government put in place. As a planning authority, we put the rules in place. This is the route, this is the times, this is the fare that you charge.
Informal sector, the problem is you cannot be able to trade with other companies formally and things like that, and therefore that's why the taxi industry, in as much as they've got bigger numbers, but they can't basically formalize any relationship with anyone. But once you become a formal industry, you can then tap onto other resources that naturally, as a former informal sector, you are not able to tap on.
This is the only industry that the black people are owning in Southern Africa. Mines were nothing, anything you may call it, land, we are nothing as Africans. This is the only industry that we are making living out of it as black people in South Africa. We are coming from the poor background. We do not have anything in hand. We still need a help of government to help us. If government is ours, government has got the money. I could see when they were building the stadiums of this FIFA World Cup, they wasted more than 4.6 billion to build the Greenpoint Stadium.
BRT is a reality. The only regrets we have about BRT was that the province did not negotiate with us. They did this planning all on their own. That is the only regrets we have. But we are going to review this thing and see how we can rectify this thing so that we can be included in the BRT.
As you can see, this is where they will start. The BRT will start here, and then will come up down this road. They will turn down here. They go down this road here into the Settlers Way is the end too. That will take you straight from here to town. This will going straight to Cape Town. All the way up here into Cape Town. Now our route, it starts here. This is where our route starts. So we go down this road, right in this road. This is where the BRT is now busy. But this is our route, you know. And it's the same way that the BRT is going to town. But if a BRT starts here, coming through here, and takes the people, you know, it will take our work away. All our work will be gone. The taxis will eventually maybe disappear.
The taxi industry doesn't have a bad reputation for nothing. You know, they do drive too fast. They do have a dangerous reputation. They are not always safe. There are always stories about some of them who don't drive without steering wheels, and you know, people are afraid of them for a whole host of reasons. But the vast majority of taxi drivers and taxi owners are just people wanting to make a living.
We are the best service providers to taxi industry. There is no way whatsoever who can compare with the taxi industry in terms of the service as a service provider. We are doing everything in our power to save our communities. For an example, our taxis are going through the streets of Western Cape to save our people's lives. And other transports, like for example, Metro Rail, can never compare us with Metro Rail. Metro Rail is leaving people next to the railway line, and it ends there. We are driving through the community areas, the residential area. We are driving through it because those are our people that we care for. The only problem that we see is the unemployment of the people nearby us. That is why we managed to employ the young people that are working in our rank. We could see that people are not getting work and there is absolutely nothing that they can do. Instead, we are taking them and employ them so that there should be bread and butter in their families. And we are helping a lot in the neighborhood. These are people who are making a living out of the taxi rank because of them being here, they've got something on the table for their kids to feed. Look now, there is one buying an apple. It means there is something that women have earned. We are not only employing people, we are helping the community outside there. She is staying around here, at the taxi business. If it is not there, people will suffer a consequence because the taxi business is so important that everyone needs it. Those ladies are preparing food for us, slaughtering chickens and all those things.
There are a lot of gangsters, lot of youngsters, they do nothing, street kids, guys. They jobless. They, here in our community don't have even a project for youngsters. Do something better in our community. Don't have that project. I was past grade 12 in 2005. I never get a job. I've got his skills, but I never find a job. That's why I work here.
Well, we all feel threatened about the BRT because why? What is the drivers going to do if they just going to come in, and what are we going to do, and what is my family going to do? I think it will affect us a lot. It will.
We have to, this is where unemployment is going to come in. There's going to be a lot of unemployment. And, when there's unemployment, then how are you going to feed yourself? You need money, but you don't have work. And then you turn, getting into the bad element. Now you're turning to become a gangster. Because now you start robbing. Now you start stealing. That is what will happen.
Everybody was expecting since 1994 when we were told this is a democratic country. We're expecting things to change. As we are sleeping hungry and staying on shacks and jobless, we were thinking things will change. Instead, it is getting worse and worse other than providing us with something. It is getting worse, out of hand. There is absolutely nothing that we are benefiting from this democracy. Nothing.
We took a lifetime to create this business. They intend to take it away in a short time. But I don't think it's going to happen because why? There will be a uprising.
When I talk to the taxi guys, I make quite an example they can relate to. In the townships, there were spaza shops that were booming, they were making money. Now you've got malls. People don't want to go and park going to spaza shops, and therefore, if you had gone to those spaza owners 10 years ago and said, let's come together and form a mall and invest and buy and form a mall in the township, people would have said, you're mad, we're making money. And now, no one is making money. If it's stylish to go to a mall, no one wants to go to the spaza shops, and therefore they've died a natural death. Any industry that does not transform itself gets extinct.
Well, we're going to try to fight. We will try to go some other way around or challenge them or whatever. But we have to do something.